back to the studio. For this section, we're going to be looking at clear, sharp edges versus edges that dissolve and how that really changes your composition, the mood of your piece, the clarity and the message of your piece. So you can kind of keep this sharp and representational, or you can keep it more ambiguous. It also changes the focal point. So it really gives you some control, okay? To control your edges is really a kind of intermediate to advanced technique. So that's exciting. It really elevates your painting. And it keeps you from just recording or throwing paint around. If you're working from your mind, you're just throwing paint around. It keeps you from doing that and actually being more of a composer, more running the symphony, right? So we're sharp note here and we're a nice smooth or muddy note over here, or something that's just a little more, let's say, ambiguous or ethereal or moody, okay? So again, clear edges versus dissolved edges and how they can work in a piece effectively. Okay, I'll see you at the demo station.
So these are some of the paintings that we're going to be looking at. The first one is the one I'm going to paint over. These are some landscapes, and I show you how there's more contrast in the foreground and less contrast in the background. That middle ground could be adjusted if I was going to go back into that painting. It's a little too close to the foreground. Here, same thing. A little more detail on the foreground would be good. The background is also pushed back a little more diffuse. This is the painting that I'm going to adjust today. The background is too busy and the pumpkin looks too two-toned. I need to kind of bring it together. So here's my palette. I have phthalo green, black, quinacridone magenta, some reds, yellow, blue. I'll be adding white as well. A range of brushes, a palette knife that kind of helps me scrape into the surface. Okay, so now I'm going to get to painting. Okay. First, I'm going to start with that background. It's too busy is the reason that I'm going to go work back into it. I've also adjusted the color and the temperature based on the original photo. The original photo actually has a warm green. I've decided to go with cool green because that helps it recede. What I'm doing basically by going into it is I'm opening up the space again. I can add more detail later, but it was just too busy and taking away from the subject. This also allows me to go back into the board and diffuse the edge because I have wet paint. So if I was trying to do this on a dry surface, it just wouldn't work as well. It doesn't cut into it. But here I'm making the edge less crisp, also bringing some of that blue-green into the pumpkin or into that pumpkin color, so everything kind of blurs together a little bit. This gives a sense of distance, and that way the front of the pumpkin is going to feel closer to you. I'm kind of exaggerating that. Here I'm bringing together the colors. So it was a little too split, but I'm not completely covering the red, as you can see. I use that underpainting and it kind of reveal it later. Again, cleaning up the background a bit, adding some more red, making it bold, but giving it a little bit of, that's quinacridone magenta, a tiny bit of black, and then allowing that also to move back in space and recede. That same shadow I'm bringing up in the front and making it crisper, again, to bring this forward. So you can already see it's a little more vibrant. Also bringing some of that color up into that shadow area. So you see me quite often bring colors everywhere so that I can kind of unify the piece. If you're not bringing those colors or letting them speak to each other, it tends to feel too split. Okay, almost there. I'm going to have to add that red reflection, but those highlights help the sharpness and help to bring it forward. Okay, so this is the final redo. Again, I brought some of that red back because it does reflect from the table, and I could do it even a little bit more after it dries somewhat. But you can see I have a lot more temperature shift, and there's a lot more light. As I was saying, better temperature shift, bolder color. Got cut off there. But this is the final product, a little close up.